Hello, this is Kristi Sanders from PlanYourMeetings.com. This is my MPI PEC-NA report for Monday, February 4th. Today started off really early because I wanted to be a part of the cafe conversations. They had arranged a series of informal conversations today at the convention center, ranging on topics from strategic negotiations to Cafe Futura to discuss future trends. And what had happened was MPI was leaving it open to the attendees so that they could post a question that they were interested in, and then other attendees could see what questions were going to be asked and then join in wherever they felt like there was a conversation that they wanted to catch up on. They also, at the same time, between 8:30 and 11 o'clock this morning, they had Technology Alley. So a lot of their tech presenters and sponsors were in 3 different rooms where you could go and learn about NTAG's interactive name badges and how to teach your attendees to look on their name badges and find out where the surveys were and answer the surveys, and then how that could be integrated into signage and create kind of an icebreaker, informative, interactive atmosphere. I found it at 8:30 in the morning. Being expected to sit down and be involved in 20-minute presentations with every single vendor was a little bit much. I expected to be able to surf in and out of areas where I felt like I needed to go so that if I got it within 10 minutes, I could pick up some paper and then move on to the next vendor. It wasn't quite arranged that way. They had chimes, they had a proctor who would tell people when the 20 minutes was up. So I felt like that was a little structured for how they were teaching people about technology. Granted, there were other members who may have needed 20 minutes to catch up on what was going on, but I felt a little overwhelmed without my morning coffee to go through that much education at one time. So luckily, they did have all of the vendors with their website addresses and emails listed in the program, so I can do that kind of research on my own when I feel a little bit more caffeinated. One of the really cool unexpected moments of today was walking into the Cafe Futura discussion. Now, Cafe Futura was ostensibly questions about future trends, things that impacted meeting planners, things that were coming down the pike, different ways that we could integrate technology to make what we do easier. I found one conversation really happening, and it lasted for 3 hours. So I didn't stay for the entire conversation. I kind of bopped in the middle, and then I bopped out and I spoke with a couple of the students who are creating the meeting planning application games that are going to be unveiled tomorrow. So you can check out my video about what that is going on. And then I came back to the Cafe Futura discussion and was really pleased to discover that it branched out beyond just what was happening on Second Life, which some of you may have heard of, to talking about the meetingcommunity.org website, which is a resource and a listserv that I've been a member of for quite a while, almost a year, but I wasn't quite sure if they had some kind of umbrella organization or really how it was structured. I had the great pleasure of meeting Jim, who was the founder of MECO, as it's called, and so I got to sit down and talk with him and Gloria and James from the University of Central Florida, whose last name is Hogue, not Hogg, as I incorrectly pronounced in one of my videos earlier today. And they were generous enough to recap some of the topics that they were speaking on regarding technology, virtual platforms for meeting planners, Second Life, and what the meeting community is online. And if you haven't checked that out, it actually is an independent organization that is run by meeting planners, for meeting planners. They're not owned by any kind of media company or anything like that. It really is a peer-to-peer network, which is incredibly valuable. So I see a lot of emails of people going to a different city and they want to know about information or candidate advice about a hotel, something like that. And it's a really great place where you can send that email out there and you'll get several responses within a couple of minutes. They also, if you go to the meetingcommunities.org website, they have a job bank. So if you've recently been laid off, or if you're just starting your career, or if you're looking for a change, you can post your resume, you can do a job search. It really is a neat resource for meeting planners. So you can check that out. I have a couple of videos. They're a little long, but we didn't feel like writing out everything we had been talking about. We felt it would be easier to create kind of a video journal. So we did that to post the wiki because after all, the theme is Meet Different. So we decided to do a different kind of report. After that, I actually spoke with a good number of hotel representatives, and because my morning was so immersed in Second Life and what that means, I spent a lot of time talking with Hilton Properties and Gaylord Properties about what some of the applications are. And for those of you who aren't really familiar, Second Life is software. You can download it, you create an avatar, so it's a virtual you, and then there's a three-dimensional world that you can travel through. In this three-dimensional world, there is a mansion that was created by the MECO community for networking, for education. They have a CMP boot camp that's online that happens, so if you're studying to get your certification, you can go there and virtually get coached by experts. You can communicate just with a keyboard, or you can get a headset, and that allows you to actually speak in real time and hear in real time what people are communicating to you about. There's a lot of extras, there's all sorts of bells and whistles. You can send your credit card info to Linden Laboratories and then they'll charge you, and you can get Linden dollars, you can buy Chanel clothes, and you can buy a yacht and all of that kind of stuff. One of the most interesting applications that we were speaking about today for real-world businesses and how it impacts the hospitality and the meetings industry is that Starwood, when they were planning the Aloft hotels, they actually purchased virtual real estate in Second Life. They created a virtual hotel, and they invited meeting planners to come in, look at the virtual hotel, and give feedback before they actually built the brick-and-mortar hotel in real life. After they built the brick-and-mortar hotel, they didn't need the real estate in Second Life anymore, so they sent out a global RFP to nonprofit organizations asking why they were deserving of this property. They ended up giving the property to a nonprofit organization that works with boys and girls around the world. And so they were able not only to use Second Life as a focus group, as a very high-tech focus group, but they also were able to then turn that trend-setting idea into this buzzword that we're hearing all over the place, this corporate social responsibility, by being charitable and by doing a service. So it's interesting to me how these virtual worlds also have real-life benefits. One of the other obvious applications for Second Life and virtual platforms like that are that, say you're a property in Arkansas, and there's a meeting planner who's in Canada and they're interested in your property but they can't make the plane flight. You can create your hotel. The planner can have an avatar, they walk in, they see the hotel. You can actually have streaming video, you can have website links, you can have real-time conversations through the headsets or through instant messaging. So that's another situation. I hear a lot these days about companies who are hiring by interviewing through Second Life, and that I'm a little distrustful of because I do believe that there's so much that you get just from face-to-face interaction. But if some of the legislation that I'm hearing is coming through the Congress and might get passed that puts carbon caps on companies, which means that your company has to really examine the carbon footprint you're leaving on America, and if it exceeds a certain amount, then you have to purchase waivers. And if your company is not using that carbon footprint, then it actually gets passes that it can sell to the companies who are exceeding, meaning that if your company can't stop polluting, you're going to have to purchase waivers from your competitors. But the most important thing today, in addition to being able to put names to faces for these virtual communities that I've been a marginal part of, was I got to enjoy the cookie bar at the Magnolia. And they have strawberry milk. That's not a huge deal for a lot of people, but I found that for girls born in the 1970s, that's huge. So enjoy your night. Thank you so much for listening. And until tomorrow, I'm Kristi Sanders from planyourmeetings.com. Thanks.